it's not raining, but
everything's wet.
It's certainly there's a threat, an imminent threat of rain in the air. If you look up, you can see.
But it doesn't rain here.
They're not dropping.
It doesn't rain here.
It's so weird.
I've come here. This is 11 years now. I've seen it rain once.
Okay.
And it was a brief moment.
Well, I'll say this. Whether it rains or not, it doesn't really matter to me at this point.
It's still moist.
But it's so much warmer today and yesterday than it was Monday and Tuesday. Monday and Tuesday Tuesday specifically was a miserable day in the morning because it was really cold here. It warmed up as the day went on, but when there's no sun out, Oxnard, even in July, can be a cold place.
What did Mark Twain say? San Francisco spent the coldest winter there that summer.
Yeah. So we're enjoying the weather. But there's ups and downs for sure.
Bring the blue skies. Bring the blue sky. Last night at the Hollywood Bowl, we had blue skies.
It had starry skies.
Starry skies. Clouds parted for Willie.
It was a good day out there in Hollywood, and enjoyed that quite a bit. We're talking this segment with Dallas Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy as soon as he finishes up next door. He's on with the guys from the Little Ticket in Dallas right now. He'll join us next here for the audience in San Antonio. Quickly wanted to hit one more. I left one news nugget out when it came to the NFL, and it was in regards to DJ Moore signing the biggest contract in Chicago Bears history.
Okay, I want you to say that again.
The biggest contract
of all time.
Not receiver contract, the biggest contract in the history of the Chicago Bears.
And how much is it? It's a wide receiver deal, which is a big deal. But if you want to figure out why the Bears have been awful for 25 years with one brief uptick, they don't spend any money on quarterback. What the highest paid player in the history of your franchise, and it's by a mile.
Yeah,
he's a wide receiver that you didn't even draft.
Now he did not get.
No, he didn't even get Jefferson money.
No, he's getting money that is not what CeeDee Lamb's going to be looking for. He didn't get Amon-Ra St. Brown money. He got good money. He got 4 years, $110 million, 27.5 a year. And 82.6 guaranteed.
Let me tell you, your priorities are entirely out of whack. If your primary wide receiver it can be a little bit overpaid, but not much. But if you're paying your best wide receiver more than your left tackle, your priorities are out of whack. And if your left tackle is not making about what your quarterback is or close to it, your priorities are out of whack. You're spending money in the wrong place.
What's interesting is the Bears have another receiver who's into the final year of his contract, Keenan Allen, who they traded for. Mm-hmm. And Keenan Allen could be getting some big money too. And DJ Moore's like, hey, get his deal done. We want to work together for the next few years. Be one of those power duos.
And it's a good idea. I'm not against what they're doing.
But it's easier said than done.
But it's just representative of why you guys have been god-awful for so long.
The Bears' offensive line is always dreadful. I mean,
yes.
Think back to when Jay Cutler was like spiking the ball and just yelling at linemen. He's just frustrated as hell. And it's tough, dude. It's a tough place to play.
And this is, it's not like Chicago should be one of the teams pinching pennies.
You wouldn't think. But they tend to fall in that direction.
I'm just flabbergasted that he has the mantle now as the highest paid of all time. And not anybody else on that team's imminent. It'll be 3 years before anybody gets come close to that.
Dude, in hindsight, what an absolute fleece job they did on the Carolina Panthers. I mean, to get not only the draft picks, and one of them turns into the number one draft pick anyway, in Caleb Williams, but
not have to deal with
also to get DJ Moore out of that deal,
and not have to deal with a little quarterback that you can't quite figure out how to move around. And I don't have an offensive line, and my highest paid player is a wide receiver. Yeah, I think that's the best thing that happened to the Bears in a long time.
And I'll say this, man, it feels like it's the rare occasion where a team sacrifices the future to get that number one pick. and it feels like they're the ones who did the right thing. You know, it almost always feels like the team that got all the extra picks and all the extra players, they almost always seem like that they're on the right side of history. And the Bears, I don't even know what would have to happen for them not to be on the right side of history with the Bryce Young draft. Like, but
the Bears are going to bear. Don't.
Right, I get it. I'm not saying the Bears are going to suddenly figure things out, but they've got to be in better shape than if they had taken somehow Bryce Young. You know what I mean? It feels like whatever happens in Chicago with Caleb Williams, and he might be a bust too. Who knows? But so far, the bar is set low.
Yeah, I think even after 2 weeks of practices, I've not ever been a fan of a little quarterback. I don't care where the school. I mean, A&M's Johnny. I mean, there's a lifespan. You literally you have 32 games.
You know
what I mean?
You say that, but time. I hear you talk about Baker Mayfield so glowingly.
That's why I continue to talk about Baker Mayfield so glowingly, because he has overcome the throws himself into situations where physically you can no longer survive. Manziel could have never played a long-term NFL career. I mean,
did you know that from the jump?
Yeah, you just know those little dudes. It's just not gonna last. If you do, you're Joe Montana, but there's only one of those. You know, they're just, those guys don't turn out. I've never been a fan, and I think Carolina will at the end of he won't even finish his second contract.
I'm with you. I've said this before. When I look at quarterbacks, first thing I look at is physicality. How big are you? What's the arm like?
Yes.
Like how much are you towering over the offensive line? What's your field vision like? Are you 6'4" or bigger?
And if you're not, you better have some wheels, and I better see you avoid hits. I want to see guys miss you regularly.
But I love the quarterbacks that can lower their shoulder and they can hit you.
Now, I don't want you getting hit in the practice like Caleb did, but those kind of.
And there's a guy, Joe Burrow's another guy who is not a huge guy.
But he ain't gonna get hit.
But guess what? He keeps getting hurt too.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna get hit. He's gonna get hurt for other reasons, but he ain't gonna get hit turning the corner or doing something to try to prolong a play. He's smart enough to throw it away.
And he gets rid of the ball about as fast as anybody. But guys like Josh Allen and Justin Herbert that are, if you're gonna get hit, be built to get hit. And that's the kind of players I tend to fall in love with. It doesn't always work out. There's plenty of those guys who suck. But that's a good starting point in my book is, can you move a little bit, and can you not only absorb a hit, but can you kind of punish guys for trying to hit you?
And those are the few and far between kind of guys that, when we talk about those kind of quarterbacks, we've seen Trey Lance go through 2 full practices. That kind of mobility is there. I mean, there's a lot of that. I did see him pass up an open receiver. It probably gained more yards on the ground because he chose to run than if he'd have completed the pass. Really not the best thing to do for a rookie, but I did appreciate the wheels. I mean, he can get out and move. That's one of those things that no matter how you quantify his arm and the throwing motion and all that, he does have the escapability, the wheels that we haven't seen in a quarterback like that in a minute. He really can motor.
Dak Prescott, he's getting some love.
He had a hell of a day yesterday.
Yeah, and listen, preseason practice stats are practice stats, and they don't mean a whole lot. But Dak yesterday looked good. Not many mistakes. After the first practice, we were going, uh-oh.
I think 6 touchdowns yesterday.
I think 7 was the official number. So that's you'll take that. If maybe he'll get 7 touchdowns on a real football day, that'd be nice. But maybe
only about a month away.
Yeah, I'm sure it's coming any day now. Looks like we are about to be joined 2 minutes by the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, which tells me I was wise for us to go to break a little bit early.
We know that
get some commercials out of the way.
Radio, you got to thread the needle, and you'd like to have a bigger eye of the needle, and we got that. So, Coach coming just around the corner as he is about to step through,
which means Vic, we may do one long break after Coach McCarthy. And then we'll hit the daily lines,
guys,
or even if I've got to get out a little bit early, we can push some spots to the end, and we'll make it work. We'll make it happen, Captain, because I don't want to cut the head coach short. But yeah, Dak. I don't think yesterday could have gone any better for him than it did.
They said 10 minutes.
Oh, 10 minutes now? Oh, that's how long we've got.
You got 10 minutes.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, of course. We've only got 10 minutes.
Only. We can make that turn into 15. We just got to do this right.
Here's the key is don't make eye contact with the wrangler.
Yeah, so this is behind the scenes radio stuff for you.
That's right. This is 101 right here. And here he is walking in now.
Coach,
what a guy. Hello, sir. How are you? The head coach of the Dallas Cowboys.
You got your headset right there, Coach. You're an expert.
Mike McCarthy. Joining us on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star here.
We are making messes.
I know. I've got my cords all wrapped up. This dude is like, what the hell's going on here?
Coach. How's it sound? You sound okay?
Yep. Gotcha.
There we go.
Mike McCarthy, your Dallas Cowboys head coach, front and center there. Good to see you again, Coach.
Good to see you. How's your summer? Good?
Pretty good. Pretty good. How was yours?
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah. My oldest got married, so that was kind of the highlight.
Well, congratulations. So how long did the sting take to go away? Are you still feeling it?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking your daughter, not the game.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No, it's still there.
Good,
It's
good.
still there. No, I think just like reflecting on her, her growing up and and Danny's a great guy, so I think she's got a great partner and she's off to a good start.
Congratulations.
So, it was really cool.
Coach, it is a prove it league. I hear people say that all the time. Coaches, players, GMs, everybody says it's a prove it league. It seems like right now the Cowboys are asking you to prove it. Does it feel like that to you? Like with you coming into the season with 1 year left on your deal, is that kind of the vibe you get, or do you feel like that's how it is every year when you're a head coach in the NFL?
I think it's like that every day. I think anybody that's been in this league a long time realizes that. So yeah, there's a business component to every single one of us. Everybody's on a contract. We're all subcontractors. So and those are really off-season conversations, and we've all committed to this opportunity. We're excited to have the opportunity. I mean, the work for the Dallas Cowboys is a phenomenal opportunity in this league, and we don't take that lightly, any of us. So whether it's 1 year, 2 years, it doesn't matter. So I mean, I think you have to look at that on a daily basis.
That's Mike McCarthy, head coach of your Dallas Cowboys, right here on San Antonio Sports Star. The first of, we're hoping, 2023 conversations over the next.
Yes, I like the way you're thinking.
Months.
Absolutely.
As you are aware, Coach McCarthy has been joining us on Friday mornings for the last several years. Looking forward to the weekly games. And it's always a great conversation as we go from what was and what's about to be. Right now, we're only talking about what's about to be. And as we looked as the season began, you talked about it, about the transition, just the change of your guys, 25% on a regular basis. And it feels like even more than that this year, even though it really isn't. It does feel like a remarkable transition type of year in a lot of ways. As you face that and you get ready for all of the practices and getting your young guys ready, I heard you talk about it yesterday on setting the table and getting things right. Is everything set? Are you feeling those kids 3 days in, 4 days in already kind of grow?
I think, yes, the table's set. I think just going back to the first part of your question is, every year you have change.
But it seems like this year more. It seems like you're in this vortex of we got to put our feet down.
Yeah, I think it's normal. I think the number of guys we've lost is a tad higher maybe than prior years. But the point I'm trying to make is that the fact is we're always looking for someone from the outside to come in and step in those shoes, and that's the right way. But I mean, our changes are from within
already here.
And as a coach, you love that because I mean, you're going with the guys you're going with the guys that you've been part of building their foundation. They're part of building your foundation here. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so opportunity and growth from within is higher this year. I totally agree with you, and that's why the importance of developing these draft classes is a number one outlook for us, and now it needs to come to life. But yeah, it's really no different. Mm-hmm. If you just and I haven't looked at the math of it, but yeah, we've lost some guys in free agency, and but yeah, most of our changes are from within, and they're guys that we know and believe in.
One of the things that's changed multiple times since you've been here is the running back room, mm-hmm. or at least who's at the top of the running back room, and it changed once again. How important was that I know it wasn't from technically within because Zeke was gone, but to get somebody back who's familiar with what you guys do, how important was that for you to have someone who already kind of knows what you're looking for?
Definitely. I think, number one, Zeke is an accomplished player, here in Dallas, and has been for, was the top of the league here for a number of years. So, having him back as a teammate and as a person has just been awesome. So, I mean, Zeke's a natural leader, loved in the locker room. And so that part is huge to have that's a big part of, that running back room that he carried the torch for a long time. So that's been great, but it's also cool to see Rico and all the other young guys go a year. Now they're a year mature, so it's definitely a running back room that's going to be super competitive. I think these preseason games are going to be fun to watch our young guys go.
You talked about him being a leader in the clubhouse and being a leader in that group. And I know Tyron Smith was a leader looked at by a lot of the guys as like the guy on this team. I was hearing he's the guy who used to pick out the music, and he was like the undisputed guy. What's it been like trying to replace him? How do you replace a guy like that?
Well, you don't replace them. It just creates opportunities for others to grow. So it's not like one guy steps into that role, and that's not practical. That's something Tyron's established over his whole career here. Yeah, I mean he's definitely missed, loved. I mean you're obviously for him. Yeah, it's just really more opportunity for young guys, and just go right next to him, Tyler Smith. Now it's an opportunity for him to blossom more as a leader. Jake Ferguson has stepped it up. Brandon Cooks, you're seeing him be more vocal. So the leadership on offense is excellent, and that's with the loss of Tyron Smith, and that's a credit to those guys.
And there was a transition in place, and you watched it played out. We had a great chance to talk with your right tackle. Kid from San Antonio Steel, and watching his maturation over the last couple of years has really been impressive. This year, we talked about some of the stuff that he had problems with last year, and he was the first to bring it up and say, you're right, and attack the problems, which I found very impressive from a kid that has worked from where he is. And I think that's a testament to where you were. I do want to look at the line and the relationship with your running back. I remember last year it was timing. Timing seemed to be the issue with, you work with your quarterbacks and routes, and everything was about timing kind of stuff. And I know how you are a stickler with your line. Talk about the relationship with your offensive line and this group of running backs. They're going to provide different things at different times, but your line has to maintain the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we have some youth in our line, so obviously just getting the reps and getting everybody tied together. That's
how far along are you?
We look like a team that's practiced twice in pads.
Yeah,
so that's where we are, which is fine. But being year 2 in the system is definitely going to help us. I mean, you can see it in the communication, and that's with losing your center too. So, but the communication cadence, the biggest change is from 2 years ago to last year was the run game and the protection. So, being in year 2, and I think Terrence probably echoed that too, is definitely we're so much more in sync this time, right now, than we were this time last year.
Mike McCarthy, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, join us here on the Morning Huddle. Dak's name has been in the news all offseason. What's Dak's approach been? Has it been any different than any other year? Different about him, like a fire inside him, or is he just looking at it as the same as every other season? I'm going to come in here and do the best job that I can.
I mean, Dak's fire always burns. I mean, his work ethic is top notch. When I look at the guys I've been around, Rich Gannon always was the guy at the top of the ladder. Dak's right up there. He brings it every day. The quarterback room is really a big reflection of him, and now Cooper and Trey is definitely in that mode. So yeah, he doesn't change. If anything, concerned with Dak is working too hard. We're doing too much. So yes, he hasn't worked at all during this.
What does that mean? Working too hard, doing too much?
Overtraining. Just
really.
Yeah, I think today's athletes, these guys go so hard, not only inside the building but outside the building. You just gotta be conscientious of that.
Interesting.
The Hall of Fame game is today. You guys played in that game 2-3 years ago, 2021. You're supposed to play in 2020. Played in 21. What's it like? How is it different from a normal camp when you've got that extra game? How's it change what you're doing in the lead up?
I mean, it's really good for your young players. I mean, it's another opportunity. I actually enjoy. We went up there and played Pittsburgh. I thought it was great for our young guys, and then I'm always going to look at the quarterback position. the ability to have 4 more quarters of football. Really, Cooper Rush did some things in that game that that I had not seen to that point. So, yeah, I think especially in today's NFL with the 3 preseason games, to have an extra game for your young guys, it's beneficial.
Does it surprise you that the Bears have come out and said Caleb Williams, their rookie's not going to play? Does that surprise you that they've got this opportunity to give a guy some extra reps and they're going to pass on it?
No, nothing surprises me. I mean, there's so many other factors involved in that decision. So, yeah, I'm sure they're obviously doing what they feel is best for their offense.
Brand new DC running around there, and running around is the key. Talk about the energy coming on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, Mike's doing a great job. I mean, his scheme and his system is excellent. I think being in one system for 3 years, this is a really good change for us on a number of fronts. So I think you're always trying to adjust your schemes each and every year, and now to have that type of change, and it's a proven system, something I've competed against, and it's been a lot of fun going against Mike here on a daily basis.
Mike McCarthy, the head coach of the Cowboys, joined us. How is success going to be defined this season in your mind? Like, what could make this a successful season in your mind? And is it as cut and dry as Super Bowl or bust, which I'm sure the fans want to hear? But to you, what would make this season a successful season?
Well, you're always after the ultimate success, and that's why we do it. I mean, I know that's why I do it. I'm not, I've been spoiled. I'm not here just to get to the playoff. I work the way I do and commit the way that we do as a coaching staff. So, yeah, there's different levels of success. But, yeah, ultimately the goal is always to win the Super Bowl.
Well, if it's not the Super Bowl, what would be success?
There's different levels of success. I think that's been proven time and time again. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that narrative that you guys jump around with.
Is your definition, like we call it in our business, is your definition aligned with your suit? I mean, are you on the same track with ownership, what a successful season is? Do you know what that is defined?
Jerry and I talk about what success, and we don't talk about it like you're talking about it. So, but yeah, we have an understanding of what it takes to win this league. I mean, we both, Jerry got into the league in '89. I got in '93. So I think we have a pretty clear understanding of what successful football looks like.
That is the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, Mike McCarthy. Coach, we appreciate the time. We're looking forward to talking to you throughout the season, and best of luck this year. There's a lot on your plate, and I'm looking forward to see how it plays out.
Speaking of plate, tacos this year. Any orders we need to get right for you?
I'm going to have to ask those offensive linemen.
Okay. Well, we want to make sure we keep
everybody
healthy.
He still will be the man.
All right.
He knows the scene, baby.
He's missing some tacos.
Absolutely.
Hey, Coach, always a pleasure.
Good seeing you.
Good health to you, sir.
Take care.
Right. Thank you, sir.
All
right. That is Coach Mike McCarthy. We'll be back. It is the Morning Huddle live from Oxnard on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe. Afternoons at 2.
Coming up on the Blitz Thursday in Oxnard, California. The Cowboys still hard at it, but no CD.